Hey, it's Amir Bormand, and this is another Daily 10 episode of the Talent Tango podcast with my brother, Arash.
Hello.
And we are a small business and we're a handful of people, and we don't quite have the challenges of, massive companies, but yet
Small and nimble.
small and nimble, but yet, there's still similar challenges you have to deal with. Scale does affect it, but we were actually trying to change up the snacks we have in the office. And
You are what you eat.
you are what you eat, and that becomes really personal. Everyone has a particular thing they like. Can you really satisfy everyone with the broad selection? And obviously, you got to take in consideration people who might be vegan, who might be gluten free,
Yeah, a lot of dietary
like
restrictions.
dietary restrictions. I stopped drinking coffee, so recently I have gotten some teas for the office. I really hadn't thought about, we had some tea, but then I was like, all right, well, now there's a ton of teas. Like, I want to, put a selection out there, but I wouldn't have thought about it because everyone else drinks coffee
Sure.
out here. So maybe the next hire will be really super happy. We have like 5 selections of tea, but this is actually Rosh brought this up, and he was saying, he actually goes picks up some snacks. I mean, there's Snack Nation and Delish and all those kind of companies that could deliver snacks, but we're small enough where we want to control it. We ask our employees, hey, what do you guys want? Like, are you guys tired of this? We'll get something else. And if somebody says, I want this or that, we just get it because it's simple. But we started thinking about what happens when you're at 100, 500, and then obviously, even a smaller department of, let's say, 20, 30, 40 people
Yeah.
who might have their own area. Balancing that's really challenging because somebody's going to feel left out. And, like, that's part of the inclusive, you got to make sure, again, when we talk about inclusivity, you don't want somebody to feel, if they're gluten free, obviously that's an easy one, but different dietary restrictions, you have to accommodate people.
Yeah, I think you want to try to make sure everybody's feelings are getting listened to, right? Being able to maybe make everybody happy every single day with snacks might be a challenge. But yeah, I mean, I make Costco runs, so it's like I can just ask people, hey, like, is there anything particular, or kind of take a notice. Well, that didn't get eaten, so maybe people didn't like it or whatever the case is. But yeah, to Amir's point, when it's a bigger company, more people.
I mean, you can run surveys, but then it's like, are surveys really going to tell you what people want? Maybe somebody doesn't feel like they want to speak up, and I mean, I think it'd be. I mean, I don't know, like different
You need a
companies
suggestion box,
suggestion box maybe, but
anonymous.
you maybe this falls down to the people and culture person. Maybe it's an office manager. So everyone has different roles and different
Or,
insights.
people ops. I think it's definitely under that
Yeah,
umbrella
absolutely.
of somebody that would handle this sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, um, people like to eat and snack, and it's also a good way to stay productive. So
Yeah, you got to fuel the body. I mean, you get tired. And I think snacking for me, I started realizing that was I would go grab a snack because I wanted a break, not because I wanted a snack, but just because my trigger for taking a break was I'm gonna go get a snack. So now I'm like, I don't really want a snack. I'm just gonna stand up, do a lap around, and then I'm gonna come sit down and drink some water because I really wasn't hungry. I just wanted to have that trigger if I need a break.
yeah, well, I mean, I think that's an interesting topic too, right? Like, are people looking at just productivity and energy levels, and um, what are you doing about it? Like, to your point, you might not even be hungry, but you just might need a snack, and it's a good excuse to go get a snack. Otherwise, somebody's like, "Well, why are you not working right now?" So I think it's that old adage where um, waiters and waitresses would take a smoke break to get a break. Otherwise, they wouldn't get a break, right? So they might not even really want to smoke, but the only way I can go get a 5-minute break is if I go smoke, where if I just asked for a break, I wouldn't get it. So I think maybe there's still a little bit of a stigma around, I'm just going to get up and go for a walk, or, take a lap around the office or something.
Yep.
But if I go get a snack, then it looks like I'm still being quote unquote productive.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've worked in offices where you could, go to the kitchen, the break area, and you'll see the options, and you'll bring your own stuff if you don't like it, which is there. But then, you wonder, with all the ability to focus on making sure we're accommodating different people, if there is ever satisfying everyone, and I don't believe you can satisfy everyone. So
No, of
somebody's
course.
gonna feel left out, and I think if, you're not happy with it, obviously, maybe you bring it up to somebody because if they're not aware, maybe you've never disclosed there's a dietary restriction, so they can't accommodate you, but I'm sure, this day and age, if you told somebody you're gluten-free, not that there wouldn't be. I would imagine gluten-free would be a pretty standard option, it's pretty mainstream, but if there's another dietary restriction that really warranted, I'm sure someone would
Yeah,
accommodate
you
it.
could be obviously vegetarian, vegan. There's a lot of different flavors of what people need to do to be healthy with their diets, right? And I think it's a matter of trying to make sure that you're letting people know, like, let us know, right? And I think maybe it's like, hey, here are the options. And some places people don't have the ability to even say, I want X, Y, Z, or whatever the case is. And if you have something that's very, very particular to you, and maybe it's better for you to bring something in,
Yeah.
then that's the best course of option. But no, it's just funny because you go and, like, there's healthy options, there's unhealthy options, which taste really good. There's fruit, which I don't know a lot of companies because it's probably like you can't keep it around for too long.
There's some
Maybe if it's
company yeah,
bananas and stuff like
there's
that.
some companies that put up but, yeah, there's some I remember offices where there was, like, always a basket of apples or bananas out there, but then again, like, so I am a picky apple person, like, I love apples, it's my favorite fruit, and, my wife always is like, "God, just pick an apple," but I'm like, between the different apples, each one's different, so now I'm a
They taste a little
Honeycrisp.
differently.
Yeah, I'm on a Honeycrisp kick, so I said it on a couple episodes ago, I ate the same cereal for a while, so right now it's Honeycrisp, I love the Honeycrisp, so, I love that crunchiness of it, and, it probably wouldn't be there. Would I eat a Red Delicious? I probably would go, "That's a Red Delicious, I'm not eating that." So,
Well, you're an apple snob,
I am
so
an
there's
apple
not much we
snob.
can
I
do there.
am an apple snob, and, yeah, I think I need some help, but that becomes interesting. So there's fruit out and then it really does come down to, understanding. I think again, I think that the every topic we pick, we keep coming back to experience. I'm starting to realize everything we talk about on the Daily 10, at least so thus far, has been it circles back to experience because your employee experience could be impacted. Somebody might not feel included. Somebody might feel like they're not being heard. They might feel like, hey, they're not listening to my needs or they're not aware why they. So I think that experience of being in a company and feeling included, that your voice is being heard, I think really that's what's again important here because the snack that goes out there, you're not, I mean, it's impossible. If you're, let's say, just working on 50 people, right? You might have a one break room, and you might not have a company where you have multiple break rooms. Still, it's
Sure, of
one
course.
kitchen area, and you know, I think in the companies I've worked for that size, it was like that where it was one set of snacks, and you kind of just live with what's there. But I think what's interesting is, and this is probably a little bit, before a lot of people start focusing on making sure there's inclusivity. There was times where you're like, I just, or even with catered meals, you're like, I'm just not going to eat this because it's just nothing that I'd ever eat. And yeah, I'd go get something on my own. But, I think that the particular company I'm talking about, we won't name names, they did a really good job of asking us, and they paid attention to people who were not participating or eating lunch when
Yeah.
it's catered. So I think it really comes down to if you have a process where you're able to get that feedback, even down to the snack level. Like, I mean, this is a pretty narrow component, but if you're able to understand your employees, I'm positive this impacts retention long term because it's going to bleed. It means you're then taking care of other things. I'm sure
Yeah, well, I mean,
correlation.
if you're taking care of something, as in the whole scope of things, as small as snacks, and you really actually show that you care about that level, you're most likely taking care of the big things. So I think it does trickle down to every single thing that you are trying to accomplish for your employees is for them to feel good about where they work, so they can do better work, right? So I think you got to make sure that they're happy and snacks. I mean, you do that with kids. I don't have a kid, but I do know soccer practices, tennis practice. That was a big component. Who has snack day and what are they
We did,
bringing?
we
So
did, we did. So my daughter's played soccer for 2 years. She started at 4 and 5 years old now. She'll be doing soccer at 6. And snacks were an issue. Like you have a group of 8 or 9 little kids. In this case, she was on the girls' team, so 8 or 9 little 4-year-olds, and snacks became like the thing because the kids would have such anticipation, and then you don't want to give them the wrong thing. So there's a lot of coordination amongst parents, what's acceptable. And what the funny thing was, after 1 or 2 weeks, we started noticing they got very repetitive because no one wanted to kind of, throw off the snack train and set an expectation of something that all of a sudden somebody else can do because it wasn't healthy. But that's it. Snacks of the day. So snack for the daily 10. I feel like I need to go get some jerky right now because I got hungry talking
Some
about
pub
snacks.
mix is calling my name.
Some Utz Pup mix from Costco. It's really yummy. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave us an idea what you do for snacks. I'm really curious. Everybody does it differently. How you do it.
And I want a new snack, so definitely some suggestions, please.
I'm a snacker. Leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to this podcast, and we appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.